You know, I can go back in my DMs to Styxhexenhammer from like 3 years ago, where it's like I tried to open a dialogue with him because he's got great big gaping holes in his understanding of the world, and he is like brilliant in some regards, but he's completely blind to an entire like volume of, you know, he knows about the occult stuff. He knows a bit more than you do about certain things. He understands how certain dynamics work. He's useful. But one thing he doesn't understand is women, and it'd be a matter of put it to him. Like, you know, you do hold yourself in this kind of high esteem as to that you have got kind of the powers of a sorcerer. You know your shit, and you know you're putting it out in the world, and it's like, it's all a very deliberate performance you put out there, and I'm like, commendable. It's very good. But you are vulnerable. You can be blindsided, mate. It's like there's entire volumes of this human story that you haven't even picked up, not even leafed through. It's like you have to protect yourself. And he's like, oh, no, sure not. And he, pleasant enough, exchanged a few messages with him. Promised to have a conversation about what I was talking about. Never got around to it. I don't chase people down. If they don't want to have words with me, I let them be on their merry way. I'm like, right, okay, like it. Well, in the future, mate, when it all goes fucking tits up, maybe you might want to have that conversation that we could have had years ago about how, sir, you are vulnerable, and you apparently don't see that there's a kind of problem in the fact that you have gone to the other side of the Atlantic Ocean for the chance of some sex. I've never seen this end well. It's like you've been picked out from across the sea by a stranger. Like, you don't see how that's off, how someone who, because it says someone who can fall in love with you as easily as that can fall out of love with you just as easy. Maybe 2-3 times a day. You absolutely no idea who you got yourself into bed with. That means you fail the test of wisdom, and it means that you're now going to get the chance to become wise. You've proved you are Styx is a proven fool at this moment in time. A proven fool, completely blind to what he was letting himself in for when he's crossed the sea. How many times we've seen this? These are like shameful demises of men, and it's not that their reputation's destroyed. It's not that people no longer speak well of them. It's that they themselves are broken because they know they've been a fool. They know they've got themselves in the shit. They know they've trapped themselves. There's no hiding from it. Here is a post on Twitter that I was sent not long since. Others are looking more closely at this. I have been receiving the odd message over the last few days that Styx had got himself into some trouble for some domestic violence, and it's a matter of, well, that could be just about anything, couldn't it? It's a game that people play. There's nowhere where there isn't potential for this game to break out. People fight. People don't all call the cops. But it's a matter of, I ain't justifying anything. I'm saying that he doesn't know this person who he's gone to the other side of the world for, and then apparently this is his second. So it's gone wrong, and then he's found himself another damaged piece of goods who thinks that they know him somehow off the internet. He's running with another stranger who turns out to be a fucking lunatic. So this is the trouble that what's his face, Millennial Woes fell into. This is what happened to Woes too. They ran off with viewers who turned out to be unstable. Now, I'll use this whatever this leak is, this Shamu person. Leak Styxhexenhammer former girlfriend Sam has released a tape of her with a bloody nose and Styx trying to emotionally manipulate her. Anything can be emotional manipulation if you just lay on the label. Along with this, multiple DMs were leaked where Styx threatened suicide if woman reported him to the police. Seems to me like he's in a bit of a bad spot here. He's in essence, someone's got him by the balls. Now this is the tape that's cut to size, because no, this isn't lasting 1 minute and 7 seconds. This is just where they've decided to stop it. And this is as incriminated as it can be. And it's a matter of, right, wound on face, not consistent with a punch. I'm just saying, she's not been punched. Just saying. Not enough blood. Now we have to get the string instruments in so we can, you know, paint the scene of this bad guy for a piece of dialogue here that's a lot. There's no context to it, but if you just listen to it for what it is, and if you take Styx as a man of his word, which up until this proceeding would have been a reasonable assumption, right? Don't let the sad music and the framing trick you that Styx in this moment isn't being 100% reasonable. Doesn't sound to me like the man who's just cast a blow. Doesn't. I think here, let's, all right, I'll take Styx's word for it. Let's have a listen to this.
Look at the picture.
You've made your bed. Now lay in it. I don't care if you're crying. It makes no difference to me. You've treated me like absolute shit this entire time. I'm 1,000 miles away from my home with a person who apparently I can't trust at all as my guide. Do you know how that feels?
I get Mel Gibson vibes. I just get Mel Gibson vibes from this, from them tapes they put out about him. Well, the context isn't there as to he was just beside himself, sick of the woman who he destroyed his life to be with. Sacrificed everything, and then suddenly she's got his whole life in her hands. And then weeks later, tapes are being leaked that sound like this. It's like it's a filthy betrayal, this, and there's not even much on the tape. What if Styx is telling the truth here? I think he has boo-booed completely and sold himself some real bills of goods here and found himself in low company. And it'd be a shock to him and a surprise to him. And then suddenly he comes to find out there are situations in life he cannot control. And even if he's got the intellectual better of these women, they've got hold of his cock. He has to sleep at night.
You won't answer the question because, of course, the question invalidates your particular opinions. I'm so imperfect. I'm so terrible. And you're just wonderful. Everything about you is perfect and divine. With your tarot cards.
Right, so he's being sardonic, as we say. He's being for serious. He's kind of astonished. But he wins me into his corner as to say, well, he's been completely betrayed by a nutter. With the existence of this out of context hit job in the world apparently leaked, private information, with this at the end of it.
And divine. With your tarot cards.
With your tarot cards, I rest my case. Poor Styx. People make what they want of this, but it's like he's been catfished, and he's been stupid, and he's believed in fucking fairy tales and stories with happy endings and travelling halfway across the world for a shag. The downfall of so many good and talented, certainly thinkers, you're blind to it. It's like you miss loads of lessons in life when you were sat in your room when you should have been out in the world observing human behaviour. Seeing that if something seems like it's a real good fucking do, certainly it's starting to get interest from women. Styx is not a guy who's going to have women falling all over him. Anywhere, at any time. He's in the same club as me. He's not one of the pretty boys. And then suddenly he gets a lot of attention. He starts to get female attention. Suddenly he starts to get confident. No escaping a certain biological truth. And it's like you need to... What's happening to Styx now, where he's been betrayed and people are now trying to character assassinate him, right? It's his biggest fear in the world. And his nearest and dearest is the one with the knife sticking it in his back. What does that tell you about how much trouble Styxhexenhammer's got himself in with strange women on the internet? Hold my hand up and say, Styx, you have some certain holes in your knowledge that are going to lead to tears. Would you like to have a conversation? You ain't half as sharp as you think on. You see, he's got, or had, this a kind of spinning like star of a brain that worked at 1,000 miles an hour and understood everything as a narrative, and he got it as to where he could just weave these narratives on his own. It's like he doesn't read from a sheet. He's a freewheeler. He gives it you. He is brilliant, but he never thought that were a skill he could lose. Well, now he knows. Bet your ass he knows now that what he had was an incredible gift that he should have kept safe, understanding there are those in the world who could fucking destroy it. It's like, he'd come back smarter, wiser, but he won't come back the same. He may even go the other way and not learn a damn thing and double down. Understand that the world's now been opened up as a potential source of sympathy. And it's like, is he still a Satanist, or is he the enlightened sort of Gandalf figure that he would ostensibly attempt to be, as to say, I'm pulling strings trying to bring people together, which I think is his overall networking style as a social media. I basically just got, in essence, sick of it, how bitchy it could be, and how certain people in the world decided to just discard him, didn't he? Scott Adams says, oh, I'm just going to just block him on Twitter and just pretend he's not real. It doesn't make any difference to anything. I think that level of straight up criticism as to the certain holes in his knowledge as to where, and he doesn't actually handle objections very well. It's like he should be able to do. He should be able to improve. He does improve. He learns. He picks things up. He picks up patterns. It seems like he may understand the minds of the enemy, but he doesn't understand the good guys. He's a grey man. He doesn't take a position. In his way, he sits on the fence in the middle, if you know what I mean. Tries to be pragmatic, doesn't have enough knowledge to be pragmatic because he misses things. And the thing he misses has now struck him down. Betrayal. This whole act, this is what I'm talking about. This is the thing. This is an act of betrayal. It's like, deal with this. See how smart you are. Now, if he gets to thinking this last, see who he's up against. Now he's got himself into a meta battle with his nearest and dearest. Listen.
Everything about you is perfect and divine with your hero cards.
You bet your ass she's going to play the absolute stone cold victim, and has got plenty more of these snippets. You start collecting this kind of thing when you're in a fucking toxic relationship and you are someone who's an annoying cunt, glum, impossible to please, dismissive and flighty. I had no idea she was important and great big hairy guy. Whether he was likely a fucking all nature pervert. And then obviously it's like you get that one in there as to where he's in a pressure situation here. He's talking, he's being rational for a man in absolute hell, speaking sardonically. It's like fear for this guy. He's in trouble. The scandal isn't that he's a wife being, no, it's like he's fallen in with wrong uns who are going to just completely destroy his equilibrium. He's got a war in his hands. And I'm being endlessly texted about this. People are reacting to the video before I even put it out. Now that's magic, isn't it? Beat that, Styx.